Okay, I think we're back. Technical difficulties. Hopefully, we got the right stream up and it's going strong. I am double checking on my accounts
I
right
was
now.
just about to
Are
double
you
check.
as well?
Let me double check.
Are we actually live?
And happy Turkey Day.
Yes, on YouTube.
Okay, we are good to go.
How do I
Let's
know?
go.
I don't see it on Facebook, but I don't know if there's another way to check.
Maybe search them up.
I did search them up.
All right, everybody. Well,
We're good.
if you need to send somebody from your Facebook to the YouTube, that's fine as well. But happy almost Thanksgiving. We're 2 days away from the big Turkey Day. Shanice is in town. Welcome back to the podcast, Shanice.
It's great to be back.
My sister is back on the podcast. I called you beautiful last time, so I'll say beautiful again. I mostly say that because you're pregnant, but I feel like I should say it more often to my family. Y'all are beautiful people, you know?
Thank you.
So anyway, Mississippi, how's Mississippi treating you, Shanice?
It's good. I have some new friends, and they're really cool, nice, and down-to-earth people. I enjoy them, they're so funny. They make me laugh. It's fun. It's a small town. A lot of the same places to go to. Like, it's not really big, and try new things. Definitely not city. It's very
like
much isolated.
Local, like
Yeah.
like there's a lot of regulars, locals.
Yeah, there's people that live there, and I don't understand why you live there if you don't go to school there, or like if you're a professor. But
Like
people
in
live there.
College Station.
Yeah, people live there,
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Very good.
and
So-
the food is not the best. Like the food, I haven't found a place where it's like, oh my god, it's so good.
So you're saying there's a market for some good food there?
Yeah, definitely. If you have food, probably you'll skyrocket.
Well, good. Hey, well, good to have you back. We're doing a Thanksgiving episode. So a couple of things we're going to do is, one, we have brought a few foods. I know we've been making y'all wait. Amy, do you want to go first with telling people what you brought to the table?
Yes. So I decided today to bring billionaire bacon. So I don't know if I'm sure we've talked about it before on the podcast, but I used to work at Twin Peaks, and this is one of our popular and easy and good dishes that they had there, and I really liked them. So I wanted to stop and get some so that everybody could try them. It's not really a place that people go that much, so for food, for sure. It's not a food place. So here's the bacon. I figure we could go. Everybody can pick theirs out because I did not grab anything. Oh, actually, you know what? There might be a fork somewhere around here.
There's a napkin.
Yeah, there's napkins.
Okay.
This one. Have some on
Well,
here.
then we will toss.
Can I have a really tiny piece?
It's too late.
They're all the same size.
Thank you.
But all my Islamic brethren will. No, I'm just kidding.
It's only supposed to be 6 pieces, so I think they give us extra pieces.
Nice.
Because you're a girl.
Probably.
Pretty privilege.
Yes.
Maybe.
What is it, bacon and barbecue sauce?
Oh, I didn't know we were trying it.
So it's
Thank you, Jesus, for food. Amen.
Amen. So it's bacon, and it's made with it's toasted with brown sugar and red pepper flakes on top, and put in the oven. So it's made in the oven.
Oh, yeah, got the little kick to it. Okay,
Just a tiny little bit.
All right, and Shanice, what classic dish did you bring to?
Okay, so I bought a sweet and spicy bacon burger from Whataburger because it's my favorite burger there. Besides
What-
like a patty melt,
Yeah, what city are you in Mississippi?
Oxford, Mississippi.
Do you have Whataburger there?
No,
Chick-fil-A?
I think
Chick-fil-A,
Whataburger's
yes.
only in Texas. No.
no, it's not.
Lies.
And there is no Target. There's not a lot of things. There's no Papados. No, really. There's like one seafood restaurant
Yeah.
for like seafood boils.
Man, they really spiced it up.
Yeah, I was like, there's a nice little kick in there.
Is it really that spicy, guys?
Have you tried it?
Yeah, I tried it. It didn't hit me like that. But yes, it's so good. After I tried this sweet and spicy bacon burger, I've never went back to my regular number one. Okay.
Do you
And
have
I
to
have-
eat it a specific way?
You could just eat it, and I like to dip it in ketchup. Do you like spicy or regular?
Spicy.
Here you go.
I'll eat a regular.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
I was gonna sacrifice.
No, I'll eat it.
Okay, take y'all's piece, whatever one you
I
want.
actually only like the spicy ketchup with fries.
Okay.
I like regular ketchup if I'm gonna dip a burger in it.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Okay, did you find out if we're live on Facebook or not? Or we are not? We did one version of an intro that ultimately is lost in cyberspace.
Lost forever.
I mean, I technically have a recording.
Recorded, but
But all right, go ahead. Shanice, you want to show them something?
Yeah, I was showing them the burger. If you can see some layers in it.
Yeah.
It has some sweet and spicy sauce, I guess. It's not that spicy, but it's so good. It has no veggies on it. Sometimes I add lettuce because I like lettuce, but this time I did not.
it has no veggies.
Onions, grilled onions. That's it.
Did you hear about that grilled onions whole scandal thing going on?
No, break it down. Give us the gospel.
Yeah, I was saying that the grilled onions that they have right now have been causing people to get sick, and even I think one person died. Any place that's had grilled onions, like Wendy's or McDonald's.
Well, you know what they say about billionaire bacon?
What?
I'm just kidding.
No, but I'm just saying, like, but I don't know if it was like what I don't know if like places. That's why I'm saying I don't know if Whataburgers from other places either, because I do know since something like if it's nationwide, and they get obviously their vegetables from the same company, but I don't know because Mom says that Whataburger's more fresh, that they cut the onions there. They don't get them pre-cut.
What do y'all think about it?
Do they at McDonald's? Do they?
No, it comes cut, but the tomatoes were whole in the past at least. All right, now my dish. If you can. Whoa. Okay.
Oh no!
These are pizza rolls from Matanga's.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that too. I was gonna pass one thing around and
Oh,
keep
okay.
going around.
Okay, we can definitely do that. This actually is good. This bacon burger.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not disappointed by y'all's choices thus far. Oh, so then there's the Matanga's Ranch, and then there's also
You want
the
this?
Texas Ranch.
What's the difference?
This one says Texas. There's 2 Texas, or is there 3 and 3?
I thought it was pretty much one had basil. Matanga's has basil, and I think Texas had cilantro.
Yeah, here I'm gonna pass them all around, you guys.
Did you say we are on or not on Facebook?
No, I didn't see us on Facebook. I only saw us on. But I don't know how to like. I'm looking on the Facebook.
Maybe give them your phone.
Here, you want to check?
Excuse me.
You want to check my phone? But yes,
I suppose if I downloaded Facebook real quick, I can just put the link there.
yes. Pass one to Derek, and then there. But yes, so
I
it
don't
tastes
even-
pretty good.
Why doesn't it?
But that's what
load?
I'm saying. Like, so I do believe that if Whataburger's still continuing, if Whataburger's continuing to,
What are you laughing at?
the comment is from Jeremy.
What's the comment? Oh, LeBron.
Yeah,
He's incognito.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think the onions from Whataburger are probably safe if they're cutting them up there. But I have seen like other places so that are nationwide, like Sonic, Wendy's, McDonald's. Those places had a warning for like the onions. Like if you always order the onions, which is crazy because I always order my burgers like no onions, no onions. And the other day I went to McDonald's and I did say no onions, and they still ended up giving me onions all over my burger. And I was like, if there was ever a time for you to not mess up giving me no onions, now would have been the time.
Okay. Aside from the food, we are doing a Thanksgiving pod where you'll mention a person, family, friend, colleague, associate, and then express a story about them, the person you're grateful for. So instead of being like, oh, yeah, my Uncle John, who is just a loving person. Nope. it's tell us a story of when Uncle John was loving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any volunteers to go first?
Did you raise
I
your
will,
hand?
but
I was like, you raise your hand, Shanice?
let me
Go.
finish what's in my mouth.
Kudos to Shanice for going first. Woohoo!
And while y'all are doing that, I'm also going to be bringing up Facebook. I guess I put the link over there.
Okay, my first person that I would like to give my thanks to is my sister Christiana. My older sister Christiana. She is my best friend, really. I call her every day when I'm in Mississippi. She's always there for when I need a call or someone to talk to or things to talk to or express my feelings or get some advice. And a lot of times, like, I'm in the house by myself because my boyfriend has a very busy schedule. And I feel lazy sometimes and unmotivated to even get up and, like, make myself breakfast or I got to do this laundry. I'm not feeling it. So whenever I feel like that, I could just call her. She motivates me sometimes, or she's like, okay, I have laundry too. Let's do it together. Or just talking to her gives me energy to get up and go about my day and do whatever I need to do. So that's an example of why I'm so thankful for her. And even for right now, I came down to San Antonio and I'm staying with her and her beautiful daughter. And I'm excited that she just likes to, I feel so loved that she just opens up her home to me. And I'm like, I know that's my sister. It's kind of her job, but, like, she really does not have to. Excuse me. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So thanks, Krish. Love you.
Amen.
Any specific story? One time she saved your life? Or what?
See, it was so heartfelt. I was like, should I challenge this? 'Cause
Really?
If it was Amy, I would have easily challenged it. But
I thought that was good.
It was it's definitely good.
it was
like,
very sweet.
yeah.
Okay, let me think a specific time.
I'm trying to think too. Like,
I don't know.
not saved your life, but, like, you know, and, like, can you think of one specific time when you really needed her and she was really there for you? You're like every day. You don't understand.
It's happened multiple times. I know there's times where, like, back in the day, or when if I'm short on cash and I'm in college struggling like a broke student, that's how college people do. I'd be like, can I get $20? I'm just so hungry. Or something. Like, I really need to buy this and I don't have it. Can you send me some? I'll pay you when I get paid. And then she sends it to me. And I appreciate that. Is that good enough?
Not really.
Okay, well, I don't have a specific story for y'all.
Okay.
Even let's say within the last few days since you've been here.
Has she ever made you cry? In a good way? Has she ever?
We laugh so much together. Like, whenever, like, I laugh like no other whenever I'm with her. I can't tell y'all a specific story about what happened when we laugh because we just laugh so much. Like, literally anything could be funny. Like, our mom will say something, we'll look at each other, and we'll just burst out laughing. Like, we're connected in some way.
Very true. Very true. I understand that.
Okay.
On
Next.
the topic of sisters, I was gonna say I was grateful for my sister.
Okay.
I was too.
Aww. The same sister, or were you going to talk about me? He says, yeah, right. You're not the good sister. You're the evil sister, actually. But no, yeah, I was going to talk about my sister. So it's almost the same thing. Like, when I have a hard time, I call my sister. And even so, like, just for an example, last week Diamond had went on a cruise. So she was gone so Diamond's my sister's name. Diamond had went on a cruise and she had been gone Monday through Saturday. And it's funny because whenever I, like, experience something or I feel some type of way about something or, I want something to get off my chest, she's always the first person that I call. And when she was on the cruise, when you're on the cruise, especially like if you're out on the water, you don't always get reception. You can get like Wi-Fi. So she had only Wi-Fi, so I wasn't able to like call her. So I felt like all of this, it's like something had happened, and I really wanted to call her and like bounce ideas off of her and talk to her about something, and it was like, oh man, I can't talk to her. So then last week when I came in on Tuesday, I remember I was talking to Derek and I was telling Derek, like, well, this and this and this happened, and all of this happened, and the only person I had to talk to was Jeremy, and Jeremy always just tells me, you get yourself into these messes, and, you know, as much as I love my husband and, you know, all of this, sometimes I don't want to hear that I don't need to be complaining about something. Sometimes I just want to complain about it, and I want somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, that's who my sister is for me. But if
So
I think,
in other words, while our sister Diamond was gone, Jeremy and I got dumped on.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
Like, where's this coming from?
Yep. And obviously, I was presented with very practical solutions. Turn your phone off to avoid conversations. You know, stuff like that.
That's crazy how you say my mom is like,
My sister.
your sister is my mom. The way you say my mom is someone you could bounce ideas off, because it's like, I feel like she's more like Jeremy. Like, she's a problem solver. She will tell you, well, you just need to do this, instead of hearing you vent and then comforting you. I feel like my mom's not that. If she is to you, then that's good.
Yeah. And I think it's so crazy too, because it's the same thing. Like, I am talking to I talk to her every day. You know, like, I call my sister every day. I'm always telling her, like, what's going on. And it's the same thing. Like, sometimes I call you guys and I, like, you know, I get in on y'all's conversations for a little bit. But I'm always, like, it's like I always have to call my sister, like, all the time.
Yeah.
But even so, sadly, she was out of town this last week. And I had to plan my whole baby shower sprinkle. But it was fine.
Yeah.
And I was excited. But man, even just to think, like, if I think of, like, let's say a specific story, she is a little bit bossy, though. I'm not gonna lie.
This is a Thanksgiving episode. This isn't a complain giving.
I'm just saying, like when I think about some of the things that she said, like, I think about, obviously, like, arguments I've gotten into with her where it's like, you're not my mom, you know. But I do, like, I appreciate, like, those experiences too and stuff. But let's see, if I think about specifics. Oh, like, so for my baby shower, when I had Kalel, she always goes above and beyond. Always, always, always. So when I was going to have Kalel for my baby shower, she thought of the idea to, like, make a little basket, you know, with a K on it, and had little swing on it with the little shoes. And it was packed with, like, stuff and outfits, and it had little shoes hanging from it, like, from a string, and, like, the little diapers hanging around it, and little socks and stuff like that. And to think, like, you know, she went out of her way to overdo it as far as, like, really making sure that I felt special and that Kalel felt special, you know, coming into the world. And she wasn't all for, let's have a baby this young, but she got on board really fast. And, you know, those are the kinds of things I'm grateful for. And especially anytime we need to do anything for the kids, she is on top of it, like decorating the mums or decorating. She helped me out for the Halloween, you know, if I need some help for, like, the Halloween decorations for the costumes, or if I need anything like that, you know, she's always the first person I go to, and I'm super thankful for that.
Get 'em, Diamond. Well done. Yeah, no, the story I was thinking about was when I was in college, and I also, like, when you're in college and your money's really tight, there's not a lot of money in the account, and then I remember running into my sister at the store, and then she's like, "Oh, no, I got this." Like, so I had a basket full of groceries, and she was just like, "Nah, that's covered. Like, don't even, like, worry about it. Like, don't even sweat it." And it was like one of those moments. I'm like, "Oh, it's such a simple gesture." Again, I don't know I don't know if it was like $35 back then or whatever it was. But I remember going, like, such a sweet, simple gesture that I feel like I could probably talk about not just weeks, not just months, but years later, of just one moment of her generosity and willing to give and help. So then when my wife and I were trying to figure out, well, who are we going to ask to be godparents of our son? So then when we went to them to ask, to me it made sense. Like this, the way she carries herself, she has high standards. She's a person of excellence. She has compassion, and she's a great listener. And probably one of the most important things for us was she's very connected to my mom, our mom, your grandma. And with that, I think it let me know that if something happened to us, then Diamond would be somebody that makes sure that our son gets time with his grandma, and because she's consistently at and planning and involved and immersed in the family events that we do.
Mm-hmm. Snaps to that.
Indeed.
Yes.
Did I keep the ball rolling?
Yep. Anyway, you could respond to anything that anybody else has said, or you could hop into somebody else, another person that you want to shout out.
Well, that's so sweet that I hear about my mom helping you while you're in college. Because while you were in college, I'm pretty sure she had us already.
Yeah.
Her helping her siblings even when she has kids.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna keep the ball rolling. Do you have anything to say about his?
Not really.
I guess I should have started with
my sister is great.
I guess my first person should have been Diamond Garza, since everybody else is Diamond Garza. But I'll just continue with saying I'm thankful for my mother, their sister.
I think we just didn't. I didn't want to start off like I love my husband. You know?
Yeah,
Like-
you definitely don't want to do that on a podcast.
I feel like every time it comes to like thinking about anything that I'm grateful for, or anytime we're saying anything on the pod is like regarding like my life, I'm always like, I love my husband. Like my husband's so great. Like I feel like I overdo it all the time.
That's an interesting perception from you. I'm like, she's talking not so uplifting about Jimmy right now. Should I intervene, make this a little bit awkward, or should I just let her keep on burying herself alive? And I was like, I don't really have the energy today. Let her keep on going.
No, definitely. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm always saying how much I love him.
Yeah.
At least I think so.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, you said the word always, so all you need is one exception to figure out how that's not
Yeah.
accurate. But in general, yeah.
But often enough
Yeah,
that I didn't want to like open the pod and just be straight like
saying the same thing that you've always said.
yeah, that I always say.
That you always think you said, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I agree with you, Amy. My boyfriend's gonna come up later.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It was like I didn't want to come out the gate like I'm in the perfect marriage.
Right. Yeah.
Derek's like, are you sure about that?
Well, one thing I have become convinced of in life is that we all live in different realities. There's a reality that I think I live in, and then other people will tell me how it wasn't that way, or I said this, or I thought that. And in my head, even if they're saying it, even if they're credible, even if they're a person that doesn't really exaggerate much, I still find myself going, is that real? Is that true? But yeah, it is interesting on the podcast when you're talking about. Often we're talking about family issues. We're talking
Yeah.
about our kids. And so that involves our spouses, and you're talking about him, I'm talking about my spouse, and we're having conversations about it. And when you're having a real life reflection of events, it's not only going to be, uplifting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yes, you were talking about my sister.
Yes. I'm grateful for my mother because I'm grateful of how she raised me and who I am today. Like she definitely got me to where I am today, and like my work ethic and things like that. Let me see. I have been working since I was like 14. Before the legal age is like 15. I honestly might have been
We've talked about
13.
my mom committing fraud in the past.
Yeah. So
With
yeah.
allowing Derek to work at 13 or whatever it was.
So definitely just reinstating work for whatever you want, whatever you need. You work hard for it. So I feel like that's relies to my everyday life, and then to today, all the way to today, since young 14-year-old to today.
Yeah. So here's a question. Naturally, I'm raising an interracial son, and so he's half Mexican, quarter black, quarter Puerto Rican, and you're raised by, of course, your mom. Our sister's a Mexican mom. Is there anything you would give advice to me about? Because one, you're expressing your gratitude for how she raised you and her being there for you. Is there anything that any waters you think to be aware of in navigating for raising an interracial son that, of course, you have your whole life of experience with that I could, be mindful of and try to help him?
Yeah, I think that just rehabilitate confidence. Make sure he has confidence. I always build him up. I feel like my mom always did that to me. Like, say I'm beautiful, you're pretty, they're probably just jealous. A lot of mothers say that to their kids, but most times it's true. You don't know what they're going through, or if they're mad at you for no reason, you're being yourself, you're being polite, then you don't know what they're going on at their house. So like just real estating their who they are. Know who they are and who they come from, know that they're loved. And also like there's also, for me being half black, sometimes it's like you're not fully black. So like fully black people be like, you're not black, you're Mexican, or like your mom's Mexican, you're mainly with your mom, so you don't have that black really in you.
Yeah.
I feel like you should just say for him, like, you are who you are, your blood is this, your mom's this, especially even with the Mexican side. Like I have more African American features, but I'm also Mexican, so like I know that because I live with my mom and stuff like that and things like that. But just reinstate of who you are, and you're handsome, you're smart, and you're gonna be successful, and just like build him up where he believes it. He knows that.
I like that.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, no, it is interesting to think about with talking to different friends, especially like different cultures that you're in, and then like different cultures that you're a part of. And then how you want to fit in with everyone. You do want to fit in with the Mexican side. You do want to fit in with the black side. And then, but sometimes when you're trying to fit in with everyone, you don't sound completely black, or you don't sound completely Mexican, and you're like in this sometimes in an in between space. So you can feel like while you relate on some ways to more people than most people, but you also feel like maybe at times excluded. Depending on, again, and people say things like, I remember along the way, a criticism I got, like you talk real white, and for them that was translated as you use bigger words from what you read about than I do, but then it was like, again, it's something you just don't really think of. How does a parent prepare somebody for criticism that you don't even know that they're gonna get?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, like. So, anyway, all of that to say is and then it wasn't like there was people because of basketball and hip hop and all of that where people were like, you talk real black, like you have that part of the accent, and then so anyway, it's an interesting thing that people go through trying to fit in different circles that they're connected with.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Dime, any other thoughts there?
I would like to continue. I forgot this is thankful, not also bashing, but
but I'm gonna throw a little punch in there.
It's like a sandwich. Like I love how she always helps, and like she's always a problem solver, has solutions and things. But sometimes,
but she wants the pod to know that my sister's not perfect.
No, it is sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's like, I'm going through a lot. You're trying to give me solutions about my freaking acne when you don't know what's going on with my dishes in the sink, and, and I have a test coming up, and I'm stressed, and I don't know. Like me and my wife just had an argument this morning. I don't know. Like sometimes she worries about other things that I'm like, not at the top of my list. But
I get the same way with my mom. Like I can't stand it.
But you're 24 years old.
I can't stand it sometimes, like when I know exactly what you mean, because I would get like a pimple or something like on my face, or I would get it like somewhere close to like my mouth or something, let's say, and I would be like talking about something and I would just see her looking at it like, And I would just tell her, don't make any comments about it right now. Like,
I don't know
seriously,
why
just
my
keep
mom
it to
does that.
yourself.
Like every time I would come into town, I had to tell her to stop. Like, just don't worry about it. She'd be like, "What face wash are you using? You don't know that I'm breaking out? Do you know that I'm stressed right now? Do you know what's going on?" Oh,
Let's
okay.
just keep it inside. That's
Yeah.
what she had to tell her.
But okay, but yes, we love her. She's great.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now me.
Now, I guess the interesting thing about you is in my experience of our mom, she
Doesn't pay attention.
well, no,
Well.
she's a communicator, having conversation. She'll give her opinion or feedback, and I think sometimes that can be triggering for you, with somebody giving feedback to you. Now you've made a decision to move back in to the house.
To the house.
And to me, there's a puzzling match because again, if we were to assess the 5 kids, maybe I'm wrong on this. You could push back on it because I don't really care about being right about what I'm about to say. But if you thought about our mom's 5 kids, and we were considering who is most resistant or like triggered by like
The things mom does.
unsolicited advice.
Oh, yeah.
Or anything mom does. Like of her 5 kids, I'd say, oh yeah, the most triggered one is Amy. Like if there's one that's the most explosive, like where all of a sudden, I could say things to something to Amy, and maybe it won't be like there was no like explosion or trigger. But if mom says something similar, maybe it's her approach, maybe it's something different. But for you to make the choice to be around the explosive components in y'all's dynamic with each other, that is for me a logical brains. I try to. It's hard for me to reconcile of going, oh, how did that come about?
Yeah.
The decision,
yeah.
or was the decision saying, yep, I know we're pretty explosive around each other, and I'm still gonna do this anyway.
No, yeah, definitely it was the latter. Like I definitely know. I knew it was gonna be a thing, and I know for a fact that I get on her nerves too. I know that we both definitely bother each other a lot, but I think we're both kind of, especially right now, we kind of think the same thing. Like we're doing it for the babies. She puts up with me because she loves Kalel. I put up with her because I love Kalel. So, but it's like, at the end of the day,
I feel like
I like
Amy,
spending time with her.
I feel like Amy keeps grandma young because Amy does not hold back. So she does get triggered and explodes and voices her opinion, sometimes very aggressively. And, and my grandma, she just takes it and she has stuff to say back, or sometimes she just, I don't know, calms down. But like, I don't know, like I've been in the room and I'm just like, oh, grandma. Grandma is, I don't know, she has to talk back and communicate back with a very angry Amy. And I feel like that's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I guess the challenge with anybody in your situation that I would be facing is because, okay, there's this concept called like BATNA. It's like you talked about in business, and it's like the best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And it's like a really fancy phrase, but really just the idea is whenever like you're like in conflict or in negotiation with somebody, the person who has the better alternative route is usually the one that has the leverage to win. So in other words, if you're trying to sell me a car for $5,000, but I already knew somebody who sold me the exact same car, exact same details for $4,000, but I'm just trying to get you to go below $4,000, but you're stuck at $5,000, I already have an alternative route. So anyway, I say all that because in conflict, what I know about my mom is like she'll, even if it's not even purposefully thought out in advance, her alternative, her go-to is like, hey, well, you can move out, which is like, I don't know how often that comes up with y'all, but that's the ultimate. If she's angry enough, that's the ultimate
that's where she goes.
go to. Yeah, where like, okay, like that's the okay. If you
have a problem with it, I pay for everything.
Yeah.
I've gotten to the point. I've reached the point now where it's like, honestly, we hardly ever get to like that point. But if we are getting to like pushing it to that point, and mom starts saying, "Well, you don't have to be here," I tell her, "Well, you're gonna have to make me leave because I'm not going, and I don't care, So I'm like, if you have to serve me an eviction notice, let's see how you feel in 30 days. But yeah, it doesn't bother me. But I do think that it's sometimes like it is because of the way that you have to like communicate with her. I think sometimes like she does things and she thinks that like that whatever she does or whatever she says when she's mad, like it doesn't affect you later. So I think that's why I have a lot of like I get angry with her or triggered with her so fast, because I feel like, yeah, she'll make like a small comment or she'll say something small and automatically it triggers me, because it's like she's saying that after she just said like, you know, something really ugly to me when she was angry. So then I'm like snapping back, like, you know,
You still have the anger.
because I still have that anger. I still feel angry about it. But I don't think that it's like, it doesn't bother me. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay chilling, saying it. And like, even on top of that, like when we have conversations, I do feel like she for the most part like understands where I'm coming from, and I've gotten to the point where it's like I realize now that a lot of the problems she has or a lot of the things that she does like has nothing to do with me, because she has, you know, so much going on in her life
Yeah.
that it's more like that than it is like me. But
Because your ultimate trump card could probably be, okay, you won't see Khalil.
but I don't say that.
Yeah.
And but you know, that's what I'm saying. Like mom's ultimate trump card, she'll throw that around all the time. She doesn't care. But I won't do that. Like I won't be like, well, then you don't have to see the baby. Like, cuz I'm not like that. Well,
With her.
I was gonna say, well, let me take that back, cuz I'm not like that with her. Because, you know, at the end of the day, I do need her and I do love her, and I am grateful for everything she does for me, because she does do a lot for me.
Amen. Amen. Well, I'm glad we got back to the grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get back there. It took
a little minute.
I went the long way around.
Back to our episode of why we hate our moms.
Yeah. But, you know, even especially that too, like, to think, like, sometimes when mom's really getting on my nerves or mom does something or whatever, I have to, like, reel myself back in. And I always, like, that's the first thing I do is I'm like, let me call my sister. Let me take a deep breath. I need to chill out, you know?
Yeah.
I really don't let my mom faze me. No, she can't faze me anymore. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't know. She
Well,
just doesn't.
you don't live with her either, so it's easier that way.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the phrase of like I try to do my best to not let it bother me, but like, you know, I think it's sometimes when people say something like, oh, like I don't care what anybody thinks about me. It's like you literally just said a sentence in English so I could think about the meaning of your sentence. Like it's probably more accurate for us to say things like oh, like I'm trying to not obsess over the things that people think about me or whatever, or to be unfazed is I'm less phased than I was before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she could still, you know, trigger me, you know, like is the idea. Okay, cool. Where we at? We said
And were you grateful for your mom, or was that just the rant?
I'm definitely grateful for my mom.
is that kind of your turn, or are you going on something else?
I'm going on to something else. I guess, let's see. You know what? I guess if I'm trying to think about mom too, like if I'm thinking about specific things that I'm grateful for, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. Like, let's say a specific story. If I'm thinking. Yeah, like I can't pinpoint like one specific story. It's hard to say. But, okay, so like let's say I am grateful for both of my parents. I'm grateful for mom for the way that she is, and I'm grateful for my dad because he's a lot more like hands-on physical there for me. Like hands-on physical saved my life a couple of times, you know? So it is hard sometimes to be grateful for my dad because obviously while we're on the topic of being grateful for people, you know, just to say like just because I have problems with somebody or just because I do get annoyed or do have, you know, arguments with somebody, it doesn't mean I'm not grateful to have them in my life. I'm grateful even to just be able to have these arguments. I'm grateful to be able to upset my mom all the time. I'm grateful that she's still here for me to do that. You know, our mom is 62 years old and a lot of people die in their 50s, you know, so it's like I'm as much as I'm complaining or as much as she does get on my nerves, I'm so grateful that she is still here to get on my nerves every day. But to say too, like my dad's also done things to get on my nerves. But I am grateful for his physical ability to see things. Like the other day, Mom was watching Kalel, so Kalel was running around. Maybe I shouldn't say this, but Kalel was running around, and he found like a piece of plastic or something. Like, I guess, you know, like when you have to cut something out, like when you buy a pack of scissors and you have to cut it out with other scissors. And somebody might have cut like a little piece of like plastic out of it. So it was like shaped like a square. And Kalel, in the time it took him to go from like to walk from my mom to walk into the dining room and into the kitchen to go with my dad, he found it and put it in his mouth. So then when my dad goes and picks him up, he looks at him and he's like, "What's in your mouth?" So he opens his mouth and he gets it out right away. And he's like, "Is this a piece of glass?" Like, "Oh my gosh, what is it?" You know, he's like, "Oh my gosh," like getting upset now at Mom, right? Like, "Did you not notice that he had a piece of glass in his mouth or whatever?" But it just turned out to be a little piece of plastic. But, you know, still scary, still a little tiny sheet of plastic in Kalel's mouth. But, you know, it's happened so many times where like my dad's come in at the last minute. And, you know, when I was choking on the marble, you know, he came in right when I started choking on the marble. So he was able to get the marble out. Or he came in like one time when Bops dared me to put circle Band-Aids on my eyes and I couldn't see. So it was like, you know, he came in and he took the Band-Aids off of my eyes because no one else in the house was going to do it. So it's like, you know, I'm grateful for those little moments that I have with my dad too. And I'm glad that, you know, I do live with Mom, but I also live with my dad too. So it's like me and Mom are a lot more like let Kalel run wild and do whatever he wants style. And my dad's more like, okay, we need to be a little bit more strict. We can't just let him, you know, look through whatever he wants. And it keeps us, I think, like at a happy medium where we just have to have like, you know, have to be watching him, but not like overdoing it. Like, don't let him touch anything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it has made me more strict in like making sure he's only playing with toys. Whereas I might not if he wasn't there. So I'm grateful for my dad too.
Nice.
Very thankful.
Yeah. I like it. Any responses, Nisi?
No, but I think Grandma's a great mom for Amy because I feel like my mom wouldn't do half the things Amy's mom does for her.
Hey, y'all just be throwing shade at your moms.
Okay, not half the things, but like I moved out, and when Grandma's kids move out, she keeps their bedroom in there for 3 years before she changes the bed or changes the sheets or just takes it out. I move out. Any kid move out my mom's house, the room gets turned into an office, the arts and crafts room, game room. Like she's gonna replace our rooms. You know, I can't go back to my mom's house at the moment. So
Immediately, never allowed to come back home.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then also that I like that because it keeps me out the house. Like
Also, like my mom had me way later in life than like your mom had you.
yeah,
So I think it makes a difference. I think let's say Derek and Angelita died and Corzin was with them, you know, she's going to be able to treat Corzin a lot better. You know, she's like 40
Right.
now. In 20 years, she'll be 60. So by the time he's 20, she would probably be able to do a lot more for him
yeah.
than she could do for you.
Or like or Presley's like you because you're the youngest. Presley's
Yeah.
the youngest.
Yeah, that also.
Derek.
Yeah. So he's growing up, he has his own room and all that stuff. And you and Chris used to share. Or no, you and
No.
Erin.
No, me and Krish. All of us actually.
Yeah. But it's like that, you know.
Yeah.
Things, you know, as you progress in parenting, you get better. But I do think that just having, you know, being an older parent in general at Derek, I think it gives you an advantage too.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm just kind of, I feel like I'm out here just juggling plates on a stick. Just taking it as it comes, day by day. I think it'll get easier later, but Yeah, it's hard being young.
Derek, who's your next thankful?
I'm gonna say my brother. I'm gonna say Jared. I'm gonna say there was one of the times I think my car broke down. I was working downtown at a park, and I was just like a janitor, cleaning park cleaner, pick up trash, clean restrooms, switch out the trash cans, lock up the park chairs, and so then. But at this time, because my car broke down, I would take the bus, and I lived like way out on 1604 and Bandera, so like to take several buses just to get downtown, several buses to get back, and I think I missed the very very last bus, and like I think as part of it as a young 20-year-old, 21, 22-year-old, part of it as a man, part of it was like, man, I don't want to call anybody for help or whatever, like, but it's knowing that I say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna call my brother, and then. But I think but it was kind of like a combo of like bad events that all happened together. It was like car broke down. I'm at this job. It's across town. I missed the last bus.
Yeah.
And I think I just broke up. Like it was all fresh off a breakup. So it was like all like and then you're like downtown, and downtown, like on a regular like evening, there's a very sad loneliness. I don't know if you've ever been downtown by yourself, like because there's a combo.
We're girls.
Yeah, I'm like not by myself, but definitely been there.
That's only happens to guy things.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, inside of that, it's like there's a loneliness that I remember going through, but then it was like I forget if I text him or something. But he's like, yeah, I'll come pick you up, and I'm gonna take you out to eat, and you know what I'm saying, like you'll be good. And so it's like moments like that.
Well, because Jetty was living at home, right? Jetty was at home with us.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, if you were 21, he was like, what, 2 years younger than you? 19?
But let's say if I was 23, he was 21.
He was at home, just chilling with me and Pops, playing Monopoly.
Wait, so I heard what you said, but I don't understand the contrasting nature that you said it with.
Like you were struggling real hard, but like, I guess Jared's a nice person too, but it's like, normally I would feel like not sad, but like, like I would hate to call my little brother to come and help me out, but it's like, oh, if he's just chilling at home,
he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What? You just have a video camera? You can see what he's doing at home? Like
no, but like, really, what did he have? What was he doing?
He could have been doing a lot of it. He could have been working. He could have been doing schoolwork. He could have been with the girlfriend. He could have been like, there's like so many things he could have been doing. Like, again, like how am I supposed to know what he's doing and make it easier to make a phone call?
Nah. Jetty was chillax.
That still doesn't mean anything. You're like his kindness doesn't count because he probably wasn't as busy as somebody else who was busier.
Definitely his kindness counts. But I'm saying like.
But you're discounting
saying,
it.
like,
You're discounting his kindness.
No, I'm saying don't feel bad for taking advantage of his kindness.
Nobody said that. Nobody said anybody's taking advantage of anything.
I'm saying call him right now and tell him to come and pick you up, Derek, and let's see what he says.
Like, okay, your good deeds only count if you have 2 kids and a wife and a whole different life. So I say all of that to maybe this will prove exactly you wrong. Is when we had our baby shower, him and his wife, they got us the $300 crib.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you have to say about that? Was he at home?
He makes enough money, so $300 is nothing.
What do you have to say about that? Was he playing Monopoly with you when he made that gift purchase as well? How is the Monopoly even relevant? He had all this money from Monopoly. He just passed go. He just collected $200. What?
You're like, none of this relates to what we're talking about. No, Derek.
So all I have to say, it's like he has that very generous spirit, and I get that, and even that would be one example. I mean, he was so sharing. It was like I said this story a lot of times to people. Is if he bought a brand new pair of shoes, and there was times where we were the same size, he'd be like, "Hey, you want to wear them first?" Like, who does that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of human being is that giving?
And Derek right away would be like, yeah. I'm going to go jump in a puddle outside.
I'm gonna crease him. I'm walking with tippy toes.
Put a permanent crease and leave my
Do
mark.
some jumping jacks.
Well, with that, I think it was like contrasted with my stingy or greedy nature, where it's like my worst last pair of shoes I wouldn't want somebody to use or wear. You know what I'm saying? So it's like truly an inverted. His generosity was an inverted version of my greed, which is like, I feel like God hooks me with good people around me to kind of give me a North Star of the direction that I should go in life. And he's just been one of those people.
Yeah.
Back to me, or
any responses that you'll have that's not contrarian to the niceness or kindness of somebody I'm building up. Yep.
Yeah, I think Jared's amazing. And I like to hear his stories, how he is so kind-hearted, because I've never seen him or you like in any malicious eye. Y'all are always so loving and caring. So
yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, Amy.
Can't say the same about Amy, but I've seen all her sides.
Yep.
Well put.
Well, Jared has always been good. I'm trying to think of like, what has he ever done to really bother me?
That's the question you're asking in a Thanksgiving pod. It's I can't just be thankful for somebody. I have to cut them down.
I don't have anything.
All right.
But yeah.
Nisi, back to you. And there's more. What is there more candy? There's more billionaire bacon.
Can you give me a pizza roll?
Yeah, that was.
I want one more. This Texas sauce, I like that one. They're both really good. The one with like more jalapeno, or I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, there's jalapeno in probably one of them. The Texas one.
I actually like the non-jalapeno-y one.
Oh really?
But I think it's because like my body's naturally rejecting spices right now because I've had such bad heartburn.
That one's really good. But okay, my
yes.
third.
But no, Derek, I'm eating all the bacon. That was extra.
Do you want my extra bacon?
No. Do you want it?
Mm-mm. My third person of recognition is my boyfriend. I'm very thankful for him. This one I do have scenarios.
There we go.
Stories.
That's what we need.
Stories. Snap, snap.
Okay, well,
Okay, we
yes,
can do it.
I do. Love him very much, and he does a lot of things for me. I'm very thankful for me moving to Ole Miss with him. I would never go to Ole Miss without him, and he is also the reason I moved to Ole Miss and got to experience amazing different university life than what I was at. And yeah, it's honestly a great experience. I appreciate him for that. He used to always, he does this, but like I would not like to clean my car randomly. He'll take my car, vacuum it out, clean it out, wash the outside. Be so sweet. Every time my birthday, Valentine's Day, our anniversary, he always makes me feel so special. Ever since I've been with him for my birthday, I don't have to think at all. Like I always be like, I don't know what I'm doing today. My boyfriend, I'm just gonna be with him. He takes care of me, takes me out to eat, buys me flowers, beautiful flowers too, beautiful roses, different colors. Get them wrapped in the tissue paper and things like that.
Not the ugly daisies that every other troll gets.
Yeah.
Troll?
And not from just HEB with the price tag on it. He goes to little flowers. And he also does so much for me. Like, I don't know. Like, I have another thing in mind, but yeah, definitely like his acts of service when he takes my car to go cleaned, and I literally turn off my brain around him. Like, I don't need to think about much. I know that he's manly enough and alpha enough to get me wherever I'm going safely and take care of me. So I'm very thankful for him.
Yeah.
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 Anything you want to say about that, Amy?
Yeah, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. It's because I've heard you say this in the past, like that you don't have to think about things, and I'm like, man, that's so like awesome. Like when y'all went out of town or wherever.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what are y'all gonna do? And you're like, well, or even I was asking like why y'all were going. And you were like, we're just going because he wants to take me. And I was like, well, what are y'all gonna do? You're like, he's gonna plan it all. And I'm like, man.
Oh, that's a good exit service. Yeah,
he did all that, and I was like, man, Diamond and I are so like control freak. Like I wouldn't plan everything all the time, and Diamond's the same way too. But I'm like, man, I think I even was talking to her about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like imagine not having to do any of that, and you just go and just look pretty.
Yeah, what Amy's talking about is
Yeah.
my boyfriend booked a trip for me to go to Puerto Rico, and we had a whole week over there planned. He had Airbnbs. We ended up being in two, and you know, went to the beach, went to the Bacardi factory, went to a whole bunch of nice restaurants, and it was amazing time. And I barely knew like maybe like a week or 2 weeks in advance because I went snooping on the laptop of his email because I was like, he's being secretive. And I was like, I know he's up to something. And I seen the Airbnb booking, and I seen it was in Puerto Rico. I said, we're going to Puerto Rico, and I was like, okay. So I didn't know till like 2 weeks ahead where I could get my shopping and my hair and nails done and things like that, which y'all paid for, which I love. So yeah, he just takes care of me. Surprised with the trip. It was great.
Mm.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I was like, wow, Dee's doing such a great job.
Well done.
He's really putting in the effort.
That's what we need around here. Effort.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it.
Yeah. That was my response. I think it was great. I thought it was a great whole gesture type of thing. Yep.
Derek, any response from you?
No, I think that's it's uplifting, it's encouraging. I think any time you have a family member, you want them to speak uplifting about their partner. What did you do back there? And you wanted us to have noodles in this studio? Okay. Now, anytime you have a family member, you want them to speak uplifting about their partner. I think the thing that Amy and I kind of joke about is like the phrase of, maybe close the curtain. Right. There you go. There's the phrase that people say, oh, yeah, of course, I'm not perfect. And my joke about that is like, anytime somebody says that, you just say, yes, we all figured that out in the first 15 seconds of knowing you. It's very obvious or something, like teasing or joking. But the idea is we all know that everybody has flaws, and to have somebody who reminds you of so many good things and to speak uplifting about somebody when they're not around, it's always very, very precious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Claps to that.
All right, you're up.
You know what's crazy is that, like, as grateful as I am for Kalel, I just feel like this whole pod is centered around our kids. Like, do I want to say, like, yes, I'm grateful for Kalel. Like, but he doesn't do anything for me. You know, I have to do everything for him. But I'm grateful that he's in my life, and he does add to my life. But he's not nice to me. Like, you know? So it's like,
Tell us more.
like, you know, he's very demanding. He very much cries when he's hungry, and he cries when he's tired, and he cries when he wakes up.
That's not nice. That's the extent of his not niceness.
He bites me, which I get very angry about. And then obviously he cries because I'm angry about that, and I'm not letting him near me. But, you know.
I heard that you've crossed over to the spanker side after publicly declaring that you were not going to be a spanker on a pod.
It was a little tiny, I pretend bend him over my knee and pat his butt.
Okay, go ahead and hit the table the way you hit him.
Like
Hold on,
this.
wait. Let me get the full camera on you. All right, go ahead.
I do him like this.
I think she softened it up for the camera.
No, I probably did that even harder than I did on his butt. Like, it was just because he was being bad.
Amy, this is uplifting, thankful, not what he does wrong.
yeah,
He
I
doesn't
know.
do anything for me, but I guess I'm thankful.
I am thankful for him. Like, I'm thankful that he's here, and I'm thankful that he's healthy, and that he's happy, and that
Maybe he's brought your marriage together, or like,
Yeah, y'all were doing really bad.
or like he
in the picture.
he changed your life for the better. I don't know. Keep you on track. Something.
He's definitely the light of my life. I do love him a lot. I'm just grateful to have him. I'm grateful to have him because he's like, he's like my friend. Like, he's like my friend who needs everything from me. But I feel like he makes, like, even just looking at him sometimes when, like, I'm overwhelmed or, like, I'm overstimulated, even, like, if he's the one overstimulating me, sometimes just, like, looking at him, like, calms me down. And I have to, like, tell myself, like, hey, he's just a little person. And,
He's the cutest thing.
he is super cute. So when I'm looking at him, I'm grateful that he's here and that he's breathing and I'm grateful for all of these things because back to, like, I love my husband, and it's like I love my husband and I love us together, and seeing, like, what we made together just makes me feel super grateful to have more love, not only in my marriage but with my child too. It's like more family with the person that I love and tiny little people that look like us.
Claps for that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm super grateful for my son. If I'm thinking about specific things, so they say, like, when your child offers you food, some of their food, it's because if they enjoy something, they want you to enjoy it too. So Kalel did start doing, he had started doing that a while back, but I see him do it, like, with other things now too. So, like, I like to take baths, but Kalel's super funny. Like, I don't like him in the bath with me, but he's gotten to the point where he tries to climb into the bath now with me. Like, he'll try to, like, stack things and jump in. And I think he does that because he wants to also be near me too. So I think I'm grateful for those moments with him.
So if you got out, would he come back out, or you try to stay in?
No, he would come back out. He just wants to follow me. Also, I think it's because he wants Chi-Chi. But I've told him no, he's not allowed to have that anymore.
Oh, tell us more. Update us on that situation.
No, like, only when I'm taking a shower. No, but so I can't tell him no. I'm the worst. I'm the worst too. I might be setting him up for a rude awakening very soon when I go into labor.
Yeah.
That, or I'm just gonna end up double suffering at the hospital, and they're gonna bring him back to me. But it's okay. I've come to terms with the thought that I'll never sleep again.
What do you think his ratio of
Like breast milk to, like,
yes,
food?
Yes.
Honestly, he's doing so much better. But I think if I had to guess, like, if I could say specific amount that he's probably eating per day, it wouldn't be a whole lot. Definitely maybe 4 or 5 ounces every 24 hours.
Okay, go ahead.
Because, like, it's over the course of, like, the whole 24, and he does eat normal food now. So he eats a lot of food.
Yeah, so percentage-wise, would you say he's like 50-50, or he's...
No, he's definitely more like
More real food?
85 to 15. Like, he doesn't have
85 real food?
real food.
Oh.
Yeah, so he eats mostly real food, drinks mostly real drinks, and if he starts to act like if he's really tired, really only if he's tired will I even, like, offer him any breast milk anymore, because he's already getting kind of older, and they say after a year it's not even that beneficial. Like, but I don't know, because they say as an adult if you drink breast milk it's super beneficial. So I'm like, how if you're 2 is it not beneficial anymore? So I mean, I'm gonna try to go as long as I can. Plus, after I have Kylo, I don't know how many pounds I've gained. Probably almost 25 pounds. So obviously that weight's gonna have to come off, and I want my stomach to go back to not being all ginormous. So that too. So, and they say breastfeeding helps with all of that too. So.
So you'll have double the opportunity to burn some calories.
Yep.
Indeed.
Yes.
Nisi, any thoughts on her motherly gratitude about her son?
I feel like kids are a blessing. I feel like God puts them in your life to change your life for the better. Like, some people think they're not ready, but or like I don't know, whatever. Some people are ready, and that's great. But I feel like if all kids are a blessing, and they just make you better you. And I feel like they make you. Speaking that, I have no kids. They make you a better person and show you love that you never know that you've had. So I feel like he is a big blessing, and I see your thanks for him.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. I'm trying to think too, like, I'm so grateful for him.
Mm.
Has he helped my marriage? I don't know. I really don't know. I think things just work out. I don't think he's made anything happen. I think that he makes me want to be better and do better, though. Yeah, so I guess I'm grateful for that. Yep.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, it is special when you think about like your child and the inseparable nature between him and then his parents, in my case, my son and my wife, and then the gratitude for both, because you have somebody who is so invested in his well-being that, yeah, I want what's good for him. Yeah, I want what's best for him. But then to have a spouse who is that passionate about him too, and is that involved. And my mom would say this thing, and I don't necessarily agree with this idea, but I get where she's coming from when she said it years back. But she was saying that nobody will ever love the child like their own parents. And so I there's probably exceptions to that. Maybe that's 95% true. There's that other 5% is like, man, these are just whatever bad parents who, and then it didn't take very much to even beat their whatever love they had.
Their bare minimum. Like the parents from Matilda.
Break it down.
The parents from Matilda?
I don't know what that is.
You've never seen the movie Matilda?
don't
So
think so.
Matilda's parents, they just like don't care about her at all. They bring her home. They put her car seat, like when they first bring her home, in the trunk.
Oh.
So then they're driving home all crazy.
And the back seat sliding around the back.
Yeah. They get home, they forget her in the car. They, as she's getting, like by the time, I think they said in the movie, by the time she's 2, like she already knows how to cook breakfast, and she's, takes care of herself and, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I think she's like 6 years old, and she's like, I'm supposed to go to school. And then they're like, no, you're not. You're only 3.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there are world-class step parents that I like to give flowers to, like in the idea of like, you could come and love somebody who's not even yours. And I think I think of that, but it is nice to be married to somebody who's like, no, their very knee-jerk response is loving the child and protecting and helping and feeding and serving and doing whatever, cleaning after, because there's so much ongoing sacrifice as a parent where it's like every moment you're thinking of the next, you're either sacrificing right now or you're thinking about how you're about to sacrifice around the corner. Like that's just the nature of it. Like am I sacrificing right now? No, but I'm thinking about after this, it's whatever, being with him till he goes to sleep. And then whenever he wakes up, I wake up if I'm not already awake so you're sacrificing, like you're straight. I don't know. What do you get? 7-8 hours of straight sleep these days? Yeah. So like as a parent, she goes, what? As a parent, you're going, doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like it's automatically split maybe 3 or 4 ways. And you go, how is that healthy for anybody? But it's just part of life.
Yeah.
So I'm very grateful for having a wife and a mother of my son who's all about my son. Special.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yep. All right. I think we have time for one more for each of us before we wrap up.
But then
go ahead.
You're finished. I started it. So you have 2 more?
No. Me, I was kind of piggybacking and kind of tagging a name on her answer of Kalel. So I tagged in my wife and my son as people I was thankful for.
Okay.
So
Sorry, I missed that.
it's like I'm thankful for him in his life, but then it's so interconnected and overlapping element of thankful for my wife and how much she helps and serves and sacrifices for him.
Okay.
So it would be you, boom, boom. If we're going around. But we could also
we-
go in out of order. You and-
let's reverse it or something.
Okay, you ready?
No, I'll bounce off of yours too, even just to say, like, specifically, I do want to say that I'm grateful for my husband, that I'm grateful for Jeremy, where, like, you know, it's taken us, and I've said this in the past on the pod, like, it's taken us a long time to get to where we're at today. You know, we met when Jeremy was 13 and I was 14. And throughout the years, it's been a lot of, like, back and forth with us, and it's taken a super long time to get to where we are now. And I feel like things that he does that, like, make such a difference to me, like, you would think, and that's why I was thinking earlier when we were talking about, like, how much I do love Kalel. Like, I think also, like, about how much that I do love Jeremy, because at the end of the day, like, I'm super strong-willed, and I'm super, like, you know, I'm like your mom, like Diamond too. Like, I'm super set in my ways. I want to do things my way. And I've said in the past that he's real, like, willing to compromise, willing to hear me out and stuff like that. But on top of that, he's also the kind of person who's not willing to compromise in, like, for things that he doesn't really believe in. So, like, you know, he's not a drinker. You know, he doesn't drink alcohol. So that's something that's, like, for him, he's not willing to compromise on that. Which, for me, it's like I try to push the boundaries a lot where, like, I want to drink, or I'll even, like, ask him, like, are you sure you don't want to drink and stuff like that. And it's like things like that where he stops and he's like, no, we're not going to do, like, I'm not going to do that, you know. And if you're going to do it, you're going to have to stay within these parameters, which me being as strong-willed as I am, it's like sometimes I want to fight that. But I understand that he doesn't do those things because, you know, he hates me and he doesn't want me to have a good time and all these things. He's like, he does those things because he loves me, because he wants me to be around more, because he wants me to be the best mom that I can be. And it's like doing some of these things sometimes isn't always, like, you know, what's best for me, what's best for Kalel, what's best for our marriage. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that he compromises with me a lot, but where he can't, I understand why he can't, and that he has to put in effort to, like, make sure that I reel things in. And it's like, especially, like, the way that where my life was going before I got married is so much different than where my life is now. So it's like when I got married, there was a lot of, like, pull and tug and yell and screaming and, you know, back and forth just to get us to where we, you know, to where we were kind of okay. And it took months of that. And then, you know, I got pregnant, and then it took months of me being pregnant. And then it's even taken, like, you know, now, like, 2.5 years later, we're finally getting to where we're both aligned. We're finally getting to where we're both happy and, like, super willing to compromise for each other, super willing to adjust for each other. And I just feel like I'm so grateful for having that intervention. And it's like, it would have taken anybody else, like, the same amount of screaming and crying and pulling hair, pulling teeth, you know, blood, sweat, and tears that I put in to my marriage now for anybody else to have done it. And I probably wouldn't have stuck with it if it wasn't, you know, specifically him. So it's like the fact that he has stuck around and has put up with me that much. And, you know, he loves Kalel. And he's gonna love Kylo, and he loves me. And he doesn't, and I've said this several times on the pod, that I don't think he can tolerate anybody else for any amount of time. That very, like, probably he cannot tolerate anybody else for longer than 2 hours ever. Only me and Kalel. So it's like, I know that I hold a very special place in his heart.
Nice.
More than anybody else, you know. So
Dang, what a flex. What a flex for somebody who you might categorize as introverted or even somewhat antisocial, but, like, the very few, in this case, 2 human beings on the planet. Maybe you might add his mom or somebody.
not
no?
even. No,
Okay.
only us two.
Okay. The 2 human beings on the planet that he's, like, rocking with like that is a major encouragement.
Yeah. But yeah, to say, like, I'm super grateful to be in this tiny little bubble of 2 people that he can put up with for 24/7.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
Very good.
Yep.
Easy. Any thoughts or on hers, or do you have yours?
I think that's beautiful because I see how you're saying he loves you the most, and then he spreads his love throughout y'all's family.
which with us, yeah.
Yeah, and I really don't have another one, but
Especially like I'm thinking too, like like you and Christiana like were super close to me before, like before I got married.
Mm-hmm.
So like to see how drastic my life had changed from then to now is so crazy.
Yeah. I don't have another person, but I just wanted to thank God. For real. Like, I don't know. He's not a person, he's God, but I just want to thank Jesus because I feel like that's where I am in my life, where that's how I got to where I am in my life. And I feel like I just thank him every day, that he's going to always protect me and love me and that he lives with me all the time. If I don't have nobody, I know I have him. And that's what I love, that I feel I have everlasting love.
Yeah.
That fills me. And yeah, I know it's not a person, but I did want to shout him out.
Come on. Mm-hmm. Respect.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Derek, you have a final?
Final one. Let's see. Who do I got?
I'm like, who's gonna hate us if we don't mention them?
No, I think that's singling people out is a normal thing that happens in life. Sometimes we have a weird pressure to feel like we gotta.
I want to give a what is it, a highlight mention or
Honorable mention?
An honorable mention. Honorable side mention, I do want to say I give cahoots to Alan,
I
my
knew
brother-in-law.
it.
Alan, my brother-in-law. 1, for putting up with my sister. 2,
Yes.
for being a great father and stepfather.
I would second that. Derek, did you know Alan has my name tatted on him?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he has me. He has Perseus and Neve, and then he added Krish, Shanice, Erilyn, and Presley on his back. So we're all on his back.
Oh.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Thanks for telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Honorable mention.
It's very special because I remember when I was officiating your mom, our sister's wedding with Alan, and I was like, "Ooh, like this is hitting me, like it's just hitting me watching her walk down the aisle to this guy." How, like, I don't know, sometimes in a jaded world, you could wonder, are there any men over 30 that are like guys you would actually want in your family, that
Right.
you'd want for your sister or somebody? It's like so rare. You could be so jaded and darkened by stupid things that stupid people do, but for her to have found somebody who has his character and has his focus and has his kindness is very, very special. So I think really feel like God hooked my sister up. So yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let that be my tag on to your
Honorable mention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm good with ending it there.
Nisi?
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
Thank y'all for having me.
The last thing we do to end our episodes is we do one short story or parable for our children. Amy, are you ready, or do you need a few seconds?
Oh, I guess I could take a few seconds.
All right, cool. I'll go first. You don't have to go, but we do a more like straight to camera story, and then the quick lesson for it could be something that happened this past week. It could be a story that you know of or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll go first. All right. So, all right, Corzin. So this past week, the first time you and I got a chance to water the grass together, which is just special. It's like something like really, really small, but be able to have you on one arm and then watering the grass together, front yard, backyard, and you got to get some some vitamin D from the sunlight, and it just made me think about the moments we've already had. Again, in 2 days you'll be 3 months old at the time of this recording, and when I think about what we've done so far, yeah, like we do stuff around the house a lot, with changing your diapers, feeding you, all of those things, which all those things count. And we've been to your cousin Mila's t-ball games, and we've went to my friend KC's daughter Kyla's basketball game in the gym. Then we've gone to went to the Halloween thing. We'll be doing, God willing, our Thanksgiving thing the next couple of days. You went running in the park with me. I took you in the running stroller that your grandma Puente got for you. So I say all that because there's as you think about life, and sometimes we can make life about the goals and achievements we have, and those have a place of preciousness and specialness. But what I could tell you from on this side of it, as a 39-year-old and having some accomplishments, some achievements, things that are pretty notable in my life that I've done and accomplished. But really, like at the end of the day, it's the things, not just the things that you do, but it's who you do the things with. That's why I mentioned watering the grass with you, or running with you, or t-ball game with you, or basketball game with you. It's that connection. So anyway, if you're thinking about life and how to build life, it's not just what you do, but it's who you do things with. And so choose those people wisely, and choose activities. You could have, and I've been there where I have 20 or 25 pairs of shoes or whatever my number is now. That's fine, but really it's not so much presents like gifts, but it's presence like who you accompany. So all that to say is, if you had to choose experiences over gifts, that's often so much better of a priority. That's all I got. And to Amy.
So, as we get closer to Kylo approaching, I think I had previously been talking about how Kylo, that you've been a bad child just a little bit. But, I realize now, especially with the decisions that, your father and I have made as far as like him not being here as much. And this past week, it's Tuesday now, but we went to go pick up your dad on Wednesday of last week. So we've been with him this entire time. And I feel like you have gotten so much more tranquil, so much more happy, so much more willing to just even just want to be by yourself. I feel like myself as a parent, I didn't see how dramatic and how different and hard it would be for not only for myself to not have your dad around, but for you to not have your dad around. And, it's heartbreaking when I think, about how happy you are and how, your dad's not going to be here in a couple more weeks, again, for another 6 months, we're going to have to go through this. And as I've been seeing the way that you behave and the way that you act and how much you love your dad, I understand that, yes, we're making the sacrifice, but at the end of the day, it's important to have not only your dad, but also me there with you. And I think it's important for you to think about that, not only now, but to think about that in the future. When you have your own kids, you want to make sure that you're there for them, and it's very obvious in the way that I have been talking about you in the last few pods, saying that you have been getting frustrated, that you've been throwing fits and doing all these things. And it's like the amount of times that you were doing that before your dad came back and the amount of times that you're doing that now have significantly changed, because you need your dad there and I need your dad there, and us being a family together is super important to me and super important to your dad. And I know it should be something that's super important to you too. And I just want you to make sure you're looking out for that, because you are so much more loving and so much more caring when all of us are together. And I think that means you're going to love your family just like we do. That's it.
Nisi, any final thoughts before we wrap?
Yeah, I want to shout out to my kids. Okay. Hey, kids. So I just want to let y'all know that I love y'all so much, and I would always love y'all, do everything for you. And I just want to tell this quick story about lifelong story, where my mom always knew which kids were not going to be good for me. So I'll have friends that girlfriends that come over and then she'll tell me, she's like, they're not good. I'm like, Mom, you don't know what you're talking about. Later in life, fall out, or I see, they're not in the same place where I want to be. They're not on the same level, or I surpass them in life. And they weren't on the right track. They weren't good. So I just want to let you know that I will forever always have y'all's best interest, and that I'll most likely always be right. So love y'all.
Yeah, love it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into the episode. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.